Burwash Landing is one of those amazing wide spots in the road for two reasons. One, the uniqueness of the Alaska Highway from here to the Alaska border, and two, the finest natural history museum we had seen. First, the soil engineers report most of the soil along this section of the highway is of glacial origin and unstable for roads. Anything that causes the permafrost to melt will cause this ice-rich soil to liquefy. This liquid soil has little strength and will settle or subside. When this soil refreezes during the winter, it will expand or heave, wreaking havoc on a drivability road surface, creating undulations and cracking. This has been a major problem since the road was built in 1942 and a continuing work in progress since. Extensive road construction was going on in 2013 when we passed through, with more scheduled for 2014, taking care of most of the bad parts in this section. Previous travelers on this 100-mile section of road from Destruction Bay to Alaska border had to plan on drastically reduced speeds if they did not want to have a major breakdown. This was no place for a broken axle, as services were over 100 miles away. Still be aware of the roadside markings and slow down, as one can't always see the frost heaves. In the North Country, paved roads are harder and more costly to repair, as repairs can only be done a few months in the summer. These roads are often marked with signs or an orange cone at the edge of the road. Gravel roads can be graded more months of the year, taking out the winter frost, and are often smoother than paved roads. The second reason for this stop is here is the largest gold pan in the world, great for taking pictures. Next to the gold pan is the Culane Museum of Natural History, an ordinary log building housing the finest collection of rock minerals, native Indian costumes, animals, and history that we had seen, and we'd been into many museums. The person or group who developed this museum had a real flair on how to weave the different subjects into an interlocking story about this area. Inside, the white doll sheep are prevalent in the high mountains surrounding this area. The lynx are seldom seen in the wild or on displays. The notorious wolf pack showing their nasty attitude and vicious nature. A caribou with a huge rack of antlers. The muskox and polar bear's natural habitat is further north in the Yukon. This is only the second polar bear display we saw, and a good one. This area is a big flyaway for waterfowl, with many species of birds summering here. The minerals and rocks were in a dimly lit area, and I did not think to turn on the flash. There were several excellent Indian displays and their handiwork. They have two samples of the original U.S. Army mile marker signs for the Alcan Highway, and good ones. There are many moose in the area. The highway follows along the Culane River and Lake for about 100 miles. When camping in these river or lake areas, there are more mosquitoes, and occasionally we brought out the face nets. For the most part, I did not notice many mosquitoes when we were up north, but they found Bev. This is an actual old-time fish netting machine that scoops up the fish from a creek it is positioned over, then dumps the fish out to be dried for dog food or human use. The Beaver Creek Customs is near the Canadian border, and a few miles over the border into Alaska, there is the Tetlin National Wildlife Refuge, a vast, water-laden, boggy area best suited for waterfowl and wildlife. This area is famous for the trumpeter swan and was most famous for trapping many fur-bearing animals. Note the samples on the wall. We have seen many moose, and it is always exciting to see these big animals. This highlights about 400 miles of the Alcan Highway between Whitehorse and Tok.